We're mic'd up with Montgomery.
Welcome to Real Talk, where real estate meets real conversations.
I'm Sean Harvey.
I'm Brittany Newhart.
How are you, Brittany?
I'm always great.
Good.
We're matching today because we just had a meeting,
That's right.
so we had to match for it.
That's right.
Yeah, I called you.
Got to represent the company. So
I mean, yes, but yeah, we did not.
we did not plan it.
No, it was one of those days where I was like, I have to wear just a sweater and jeans.
Yep.
Is that your go-to? What's your go-to outfit?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, my jeans and my sweater. Yeah.
So that's what we're getting into today. So Sean and I have both, I think, in the past been shamed for our clothing.
Yes, we have.
Somebody who's not a realtor anymore here. So, the fun part about that is like clothing is so hard. So it's a way to express yourself, but also I think it's a way to like show professionalize who you are. But some people are like, you have to wear a suit.
Yeah.
To be a realtor. No.
I think the days of suit and tie are kind of behind us. I mean, not for every profession.
But even like you see banking wise, they're not always wearing suit and tie either.
Right.
They get a little bit more flexible too. And I think it's fine. If you're covered up.
That's right.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. If it's 100 degrees outside, I wear my shorts.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can show houses fast in my shorts.
Yeah.
Just scoot right along.
I have never had somebody show up and be like, ooh, you're not wearing the right outfit. I don't like this house. Like, yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And I guess it's a personal preference. I feel like there is a generation who looks back and is like, that, you're professional, you have to wear this.
Right.
So there is aspects like that. But I think that there's a lot of times where jeans can look better than some of these other nicer, in quotes, outfits because I don't know, they make it look professional.
Well, and the other thing is that if I'm wearing, my khaki pants, my shirt, and my tie, and I need to crawl into a crawl space, that's probably not going to happen. Yeah. But if I'm wearing my blue jeans, well, then there's a chance I'm going to crawl in there as long as it's not too disgusting.
Yep. I want to see you crawl into a crawl space.
I have crawled into some pretty interesting places and houses before, trapdoors and different things, because... Yeah. Sometimes buyers aren't able to get into those, or sometimes they don't want to go into those, but they would like to know what the furnace looks like. So it's like, okay, here we go.
Okay, so you show a house and it's a old farm place and it's got a dirt floor basement. You really want to wear your Sunday best?
Right.
Yeah. I'm not doing that.
When I go out, I'm dressed so I can be comfortable, presentable, and so I can work.
Exactly. We still make it presentable, but we've gotten shade about, how we're not wearing suits and ties and we're not wearing the fanciest button-up shirts, but yeah.
But we would also like to know, I guess, what would you like your real estate agent to wear? Because I would be curious to hear that. My take on it has always been I'm going to be approachable.
Yeah. I want to know what you want your real estate agent to wear, but also how old you are. Because I feel like that does matter. Like I said, it's a generational thing. It's not because they think that you don't know what you're talking about. It's just that's how they grew up. That business casual was...
It was a different thing at different times.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Business casual now is like, colored jeans. Like, that would never have been a thing back then. Now you can do that, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, first impression-wise, we have to make a lot of first impressions, but a lot of our first impressions aren't even in person anymore.
No, a lot of times they're not, and that's what I think people need to think about too, especially other real estate agents. When you are trying to make a first impression, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to meet that person face to face. It might be the first email you send them. How did that sound? Or the first text message you sent, or the first phone call you had. Was it casual? Was it contentious? Was it fun? I mean, and there's a lot that goes into a first impression.
Definitely. And you want to make it relatable, but also you have to still be professional. But you can't give too much of your own opinions.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like it's a hard line to make a first impression, especially online. There's a lot of times where I read someone's text message and I was like, well, that's rude. And then I'm like, well, okay, but how would they say it?
Right.
Because maybe if you said it in a cheerful voice, it sounds joking.
Right.
Or...
so a lot of it depends on how your day is going too. If you're having a bad day and you're like, everybody is attacking me today, then it's like, okay, well, maybe you read that different than if it was a normal day.
For sure. And I think that real estate is kind of like a lot of those influencers, like, I don't want to get canceled. So it's like you got to watch what you say to everything. So we try not to do things political. We try not to do things
Even if we weren't in
religious
real
is like,
estate, we
oh my
would stay
God.
away from
Yeah, I
politics.
would 100%.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
try not to post anything out there because one person is going to agree, one person's going to disagree. That's how it's always going to be. And it is difficult. And you don't want to segregate yourself. But also, I don't want to get into an argument with people. Political wise, I don't know enough as I should. So I'm not going to get in an argument with somebody.
right. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know what's going on political wise because I don't want to know. And that's the deal. Because, yeah, that's bad. But
Yeah, but as real estate agents, we have to, if you see us posting pictures of ourselves or videos of us doing things, I mean, it's just to show people kind of the behind the scenes things that we do every day and keep the world informed of what all goes into a transaction a lot of times. But we also, advertising wise, we have to keep our faces out there. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
if you don't ever see my face on anything, you're like, oh, I wonder if Sean's even still doing real estate. I don't see him anywhere, And
yeah. And that is so hard. So I could not be an influencer because pushing out on social media more recently and stuff, I've kind of pushed back into real estate. Had a moment where I was a little bit farther out of it. I absolutely love real estate. It is my passion. That's my dream goal. Got back into it, and I was pushing to get more people onto my social media so that I can share more community stuff. I can share more of my houses, more of myself, and get that best first impression because I'm a big family person. I want what's best for every single person. I'm going to treat everybody equally. But I had somebody unfollow me, and I was so sad. And I'm like, one person. I had like it come up, and I was like 50 new follows and one unfollow, and all I cared about was that one unfollow. And I was like, I can't be an influencer because that's all I would sit there only read the bad comments. Like,
and here we are doing a podcast, pushing ourselves out there. This is, I know for me, this is. It's a little bit challenging to like watch the videos back of yourself for sure. So I really don't. So if there's something messed up in it, I'm sorry. I'm not watching
we're not
back.
watching ourselves. Yeah, I like to see just a little bit and be like, okay, did I make too much of a fool? Okay, no.
Yeah,
but I'm like, I can't sit there and stare at it because I will ask to take it down every time. I did a video a while ago through a house, and it was the first one, and gosh, it was about almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was so hard. Mm-hmm. I'd walk somewhere and my husband would be playing it and I could hear myself. I'm like, turn it off. Yeah. I can't do it.
The best videos that I feel like I can make of myself or myself doing something stupid so that I don't actually, so I can get a chuckle out of it and I don't think, oh my goodness, did I actually mess this up or should I have done this? But if I do something off the wall, weird, make a video of Brittany running in the background of it, that's to me is fun.
Yes, so. I have to try to make it fun because then if I make a fool of myself, I'm like, yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a joke. No, there's this one campaign that you did, and I always remember it, and that's the point, is like you always remember it, and it's your Home Alone one.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh. Yeah. And I'm like, I put it on a mouse pad for you in here, because I was like, it cracked me up so much, and every time I see that, every couple of years, it comes back up on you like reshare it, and I'm like, that just, I'm like, it's my favorite, but that's the thing, it makes people think. It's a first impression. It makes you fun. It makes you show that you're willing to joke around and have some fun with it too.
Well, yeah, and we as real estate agents, we have to be serious.
Oh yeah.
We have to get our job done. But there's nobody that says we can't have fun with our clients along the way.
Yes. Well, that's when you're in the middle or even in the beginning, middle, and end, every stage there's a little bit of not fun things. There's a lot of seriousness. There's a lot of you have to give bad news, you have to give good news, and now this person's like, oh crap, now I have to figure out how to pay for this. Stuff like that. There's a lot of having to look at an inspection and look at every little thing that's wrong with something you're going to buy and then how to fix it.
Right.
It's hard. So it's like, we love showing that we're fun and we're going to be upbeat and we're going to be positive about every situation. And there's sometimes we have to talk ourselves into that a little bit. Be like, okay, we can do this.
Sometimes we have to think about that bad news for 5 minutes before we call you. We're like, okay, now
we have to get over
it. Yeah, we have to get over it first.
Yeah, I'm like, we have to get over our emotions of it because we're like, we don't have to live through this. We have to help them live through this.
And we will live through this.
Yes.
We always do.
Yes. We take it home.
We figure it out.
We feel sad about it.
Yes. Yeah. But I feel like everybody in our office is very laid back. If somebody were to call in, they would not have any problem sparking a conversation with anybody in this office.
I feel like we are all very different, but we all every single one has fun. Like we
Yes.
all can enjoy every home purchase and that, but
That's
we
right.
all have to take the serious thing serious. So
Absolutely.
it's fun to show. I like social media on that aspect of, yes, we get to show the background side, but there's a lot of boring background stuff we don't want to show because
Yeah.
it's boring.
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to
we're
see
sitting in our
legal
chair
terms.
And we're tired afterwards and just sitting there.
Yes. Like sometimes you just there and you're like, how did 2 hours go by?
Yeah.
I was reading a document. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, like going over purchase agreements sometimes. I was just going over like steps with somebody, and I'm just like, this is just a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. I was like, I've got to go through it, but I'm like, oh my gosh, the 18th time through it, it's not
Right.
fun.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
need to be fun.
But we also understand that that's every buyer's first time. Or
Yes.
if they've written 10 offers, maybe they tell us, don't go over that paragraph. But
Yeah, they're like, I don't care, I just want to sign it. I'm like, yeah, but I also don't want you to be like, you never told me that.
Yeah.
So I got to go over it with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the legal mumbo jumbo part, it's great. We obviously have to live by it, but that's not the fun part of our job. So we want to make a good first impression.
Fun part is when we get to hand people the keys at the end.
Yes, and we're done with them. I mean, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I've had
I know.
some super fun clients.
Yes.
One of them was so grateful she cried when I mean, there's been several of those actually. I mean, those are the heartwarming things that we love so much. So.
Yeah, it is really neat. That's my favorite. And I feel like we're never really done with clients. Like,
No,
you
we're
hand the
never
keys, it's not like a,
No.
see you next time.
If
No,
somebody
it's-
needs help figuring out who's going to fix their plumbing in 3 years, then
Oh, yeah.
they're going
I
to
feel
call
like-
us.
99.9% of clients, after closing, you still have some sort of some contact with something. So
Yeah.
we want to keep that first impression happy. And then when we have to go through all the bad stuff, it's like, remember that we're here for you and we're supporting you.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we're still always here.
We're still always here, yeah.
Do you say you get a lot of returning people
Yeah.
or
quite a
referrals
few.
from
Yeah.
buyers? And that's where
I would say that's a majority of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody knew somebody and went with you, and
Yeah, and
why we like
I
to
have
keep it.
people that call. The water heater went out. Well, who do I call? And it's been 2 years. I'm happy to help with that. I have no problem with pointing
we just
people in the right
when
direction.
we sold our house a year and a half ago, then we had people, our other whatever, my gosh, home buyer, they came and they asked us like, hey, who did you have service this? And your own houses, our own houses. We weren't their realtor, but
Right.
it's kind of nice. They always come back to you
Oh yeah, yeah,
if
absolutely.
you're nice and wear your shorts.
Yes, that's right.
Gosh. No, I think that apparel is a personal thing to show. Like you said, it's going to show that you're laid back and relaxed, but also you're professional.
Yeah, I mean,
Just that.
everybody's got a different opinion on that, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to the service that you receive throughout the process. So,
Yeah. I don't know.
sometimes I'm out painting a building or something, and people will call in the middle of that, and I'll run out, and I'm in my paint clothes. It is what it is. We want to
I
get
always
you.
warn
We
people.
want to get you in this house. I might be dirty because I'm in the middle of painting a whole project, but
Yeah.
let's get this done. So
Normally, I try to change it. Like if I get home, swap right into sweatpants, and I always already look homeless the moment I come home because it's like just get comfy. I will change back, but there is times like you said, you're out doing something else. Sometimes I used to come from massages to do showings, and I'm like, just so you know, like I look like a mess, and I'm gonna show up like this. I was
Right.
like, do you care? And they're like, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the house.
yeah,
Thank you.
that's right. Yes.
Thank you. That's what I want. But I was like, you just gotta warn them because sometimes they show up and you're like, wow, this chick's very unprofessional. I'm like, I wasn't just home hanging out. I was doing something.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
I've showed up with paint on my clothes.
Just the way we roll sometimes. Everybody's got their life and everybody's got things going on, and
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. You're talking about that first initial contact. Sometimes it's kind of like a cold call. We get a lead or something. Somebody's interested in a house, and you have to message yourself. And one time I sent out a message, and it's so hard to be professional, but also try to talk to this person and that. But they're like, stop, cancel. No. And I'm like, I'm not an automated thing, but I'll stop bugging you if you
Yeah,
want me to. But I was
right.
like, I'm actually a person.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like they think that it's just some automated.
Well, on our end, to that point though, sometimes if we get, if you do submit a request online or something, and then we call you, some people just don't answer phone calls a
Yeah.
lot of times. So sometimes I initially like to start with a text message. Hey, this is so and so.
Yeah.
I'm just responding to your email that you submitted or your text that you submitted.
Yeah.
So let's circle back to this, and then you can have that follow up phone
Yeah.
call.
I'm like, here's my phone number. You can call or text either way. So I'm like, you can call me. I'm a real person. But it's always just so funny. I have this person stop. I'm like, what? But no automated messages type of thing. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm not an automated message.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean,
They
it'd
must
be
have
nice.
good speech in there, though.
I guess. I know, and I'm like, did I sound like a robot? Probably. Like, you try to sound personable, but also, like, hi, I'm Brittany Newhart from Montgomery Real Estate. And they're like, nope.
Nope.
Sorry. Just introduce myself. They're like, hey, yo, what's up? Like,
Yeah,
what am I
there
supposed
you
to
go.
do? Like,
Yeah.
it not.
Everybody's got a different taste, so yeah.
I
You
think
don't really
there's-
know until you get off the phone with them, though.
Exactly. And I'm like, do you want me to send you my Facebook profile? I was like, I'm real, I promise. You could watch this video of me on a podcast. And did you see my podcast?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That was kind of a quick topic.
It was. Yeah. Well, what else is going on?
There's a lot. So it's getting warmer out in the
It
middle of
is.
February or end of February, but that's great.
Yeah, starting
Okay.
getting warm in the middle of February, and as we go through March now, it's just gonna.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be.
Things are
pretty
picking up
amazing.
though. It's we said like sometimes in the wintertime it's a little slower, but I think people want to get a couple things done in their house. Like, yeah, I want to list it, but I want to paint this, I want to do this, I want to clean this up. Now we're seeing quite a bit more
Like
houses.
right now, you can clean up yards. I mean, there's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff that can be done outside during the
Yeah,
day.
you could suntan.
Yeah, it's been
Beautiful.
pretty awesome. So
Yeah, so there's a few more houses coming on the market. There's some more things going on. I don't know. There's probably not a lot of interest rate drops, but there's still
but
people are still buying.
yeah, you know
People
what
are
they
still
say
selling.
about rentals? They're 100% interest. So
Exactly.
so you're better off with a little higher interest rate and owning your own property than a rental.
Yeah, refinance.
No
later.
offense to any
That's what we do.
lifeguards, but
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Hey. But no, I don't know. Like, we always refinance. As long as you can afford it at the time. Like, obviously, you don't want to get into a house and not be able to afford it, but
right, yeah, you can always refinance if the rates drop, but there's no guarantee that they'll drop. I mean, there's no guarantee they'll go up either, but they could.
yeah.
So why wait? I mean, my theory is if you actually want something and you feel like now's the time to do it, then I would just do it.
Yeah.
Because you can figure out the rest of it later. It's really just because you're signing a 30-year mortgage or whatever that is doesn't mean you're locked into that for 30 years.
For sure.
You know, if the rates go down, you refinance and you get a better rate. If the rates go up, you'll be glad you bought when you did.
For sure.
There's no crystal ball on that part, so.
Nope. And I wish there was, because I would be a millionaire, because
That's right. Yeah.
what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
So, speaking on leaseors and renters and landlords and all the things, what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah. What's you doing down there?
Well, my wife, Amber, is starting a pet supply company in that building on the old Schoenhardt Ford building, or Iverson Ford building, but on the corner of Market in Wisconsin. So that will be open. I think we're hoping by mid to early April.
Yeah. So you've been
We got
doing
we've been
all
doing a
the
lot of
flooring.
painting and
painting.
flooring,
Yeah.
and now we're filling. So
Yeah. I feel like a good thing about realtors is a lot of us have been through a lot of it. So there you
Yeah.
go. We've bought, sold, and here John's fixing up a building, and now
Yeah.
you're gonna rent part of it out.
Yeah.
And then you're also gonna have business in there, and then
yeah,
you
there's
get
going to
some money.
be most of it's going to be her storefront, and then Emma Jean's pet grooming is going into a portion of that building as well. So we'll have pet supply and grooming under the same roof.
That's pretty sick.
And the parking lot is absolutely massive. You'll never have to look for a parking spot.
I know, like, you need like a doggy run center
Yeah.
with all the like obstacle things.
It's
to
been
be able-
discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like you guys. I sent Amber a little thing yesterday. I was like, "Here's an idea." I was like, "It's not even my company, but for some reason, I'm like, this would be cool." And I feel like you probably got that a million times.
Yeah, we have a lot of suggestions, which honestly is
It
fine.
is great.
We're going to start out with what we're going to start out with, and then we're just going to have to evolve into figuring out what the community's needs and tastes are, because it's impossible to get absolutely everything for every animal, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we want to have what people need. So we're gonna have to just kind of grow that, and that will evolve as it goes on.
Yeah. Well, everybody has ideas, but it's the money to go behind it, and that's why they're not. And not everybody's starting a pet supply company.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, you can't go 0 to 100 instantly.
Yeah,
Said
even
building
though
up.
that's kind of what it feels like.
Oh, yeah.
Days, but
Oh, I'm that person.
Yeah.
I like have all these design ideas, and then it's like, oh shoot, you gotta actually like go all the way back. You gotta start painting first, and then it's like, I just
know.
want to skip to.
It's a staged process, and it's like, okay,
Yes.
well, now this room needs one more coat of paint, so we're another day behind.
Yep. Yes, that is never fun.
But the flooring went in a lot faster than I thought it was going to. So I think I laid over 1,000 square foot floor last week. And
It's only the edges that sucks. The
the
whole middle part.
the whole thing,
Good job.
You know how
Your
many,
back
you know how many squats that is when you're. I mean, that's like 6,000 squats, and now I hobble around. So
Yeah.
good exercise though.
Yeah. I'm like, I need the knee pads. My back hurts usually.
Yeah,
So,
everything hurts a little bit after that. I still got one room to do, but we got to shuffle some stuff around. So
Yeah. So good.
I'm just giving myself a recovery week on flooring, and then I'll knock out that last room.
No, so I think it's great though to have. So you've had fixer uppers. I've had fixer uppers. We both bought and sold rental wise, and I was like, it's good to have somebody who's been through it.
Yeah.
Because it does change your perspective. It gives you the, okay, when I did this is what I did, or this is what we look for. Somebody sent me like, okay, what do you think about this as a flip house? And I'm like, personally, this is what we look for in a flip house.
Right.
Like, I do not care about the flooring. I do not care about the painting. I don't care about any little aspect. I don't even care really about the furnace anymore, because as long as it has a space for it, they're pretty easy to swap out. We have good HVAC
and buyers
guys.
appreciate it if they get new furnaces.
Yes. So that's where I was like, we like those new aspects. Even plumbing wise, we're not super scared of it anymore. Like exterior plumbing, I feel like a lot of houses in around you have to.
Yeah.
But it's nice to kind of have that relationship with somebody else, because it opens up their opportunities to buy more houses when they have somebody they can rely on who's been through it.
Right.
And I'm like, this is who we have for contacts. But I was like, if you have home with water damage, that's kind of one of our no-goes.
Right.
Like, depending on where it's at. Sometimes basement-wise, if it's some plumbing thing that can be fixed, we've fixed it. But
yeah,
I don't want.
Find a house with nice dry basement and go up from there.
Yes, that's we're like, sometimes the layout, a lot of people don't want to move walls, structural stuff. Well, like structural wise, I do get that. Like, oh, I don't want to come in and put a giant beam across or something. I get that. Like, opening up a wall.
Walls is a little different.
Yeah. So I was like, as long as your low bearing walls are in good spots, but
yeah.
No. So yeah, we kind of been through it all. So
we have, and what I've learned from personally doing some stuff, and then clients doing some stuff, is there's nothing that's impossible.
No.
I mean, if you say, oh, there's just no way I could ever buy a property right now, that's probably not true.
Yeah, you can buy it. You just might have to change your perspective on it.
Yes,
it might have to flip it. Different. You might have to.
If you're in flip houses, that's a whole different ballgame. If you're a first-time home buyer that doesn't want to do anything, that's a whole different ballgame. If you're kind of middle of the road and you don't mind to spruce up or something, then that's different as well. But as far as low credit scores, debt to income, different things like that, there's a lot of options out there for a lot of different scenarios. There's no, and I think we touched on this last week, but there's no cut and dry situation.
No.
So just because you think it's impossible, it's definitely not impossible. And worst comes to worst, you can't do it now, but in 6 months, you get a plan figured out and you go forward and do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a numbers person, and that's why, like, up at the school, I do a lot with numbers. Sitting there, and I love it. I will sit here and just type out numbers. Okay, if we flip this and do this, and running all the numbers on things, it looks impossible a lot of the times. You look at it and like, okay, we're spending $150,000 to flip a place. Like, that sounds horrible, but in the right area, it's right.
Yeah.
And we can help you look at, okay, if I flipped this house in this neighborhood, what's the comparables for something already done? We can do that for your non-existent house that's not there yet.
Right.
We can compare houses that are there. We can compare houses that have not been fixed yet.
That's what I do for my own stuff. If we're doing a flip house or something, I run the market analysis as is. I run it if I did this work, and then sometimes I run another one if I go further and we do this work.
Yeah.
Then it's totally
Or
different.
even updating them too. Like, okay, say it takes you 6 months to do it. That market's changed. So that's kind of nice. We can run it all the time, and we don't mind doing that. We
Right.
love having people call and
Yep.
run some numbers with us. Obviously, we like it when you come back and list it with us, but
Absolutely.
because it is work.
Yeah.
It's that's that boring work we usually don't post pictures of,
Right.
or like you do, and it looks like we're not doing anything
Yeah.
for 3 hours staring at comparisons. So
Yeah.
no, but well, sorry, I'm boring. I guess.
Oh, that's all right. We do appreciate you all joining
Yes.
us today.
We do.
Um,
There's a lot of housing stuff going on in the community. We had a meeting today, and there's a lot of options out in the community. So
Yeah.
talk to us.
Everybody in this community, Huron specifically, is really pushing for the betterment of the community, right? And it seems, and I know that that's been the case for a lot of years, but it seems like right now there's just such a force behind it. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. So.
All right.
So today's topic was first impressions, and we're out here doing our hardest to make
Absolutely.
a first impression. So it's always great
And
to
last
follow
impression.
us. Yeah, yeah. So it's always great to follow us on all of our social media stuff and see what we're doing. You can always give us a like if you think that.
And remember, who you work with matters.